Hi, welcome to AGENTPrep with Lillie Hendy. Remember to tap that subscribe button and click the little bell so you get notified every time I post a new video, and go ahead and like this video. As you'll see on the screen, the source that we're using is Texas Real Estate Sales Exam, 4th edition. It was referred to me by one of my students years ago, and it's actually online. You can download it. However, it's also on our group under Files, and on the first posting, okay, on the group, and you can download it. It is a PDF file, and I use this source because it has 4 exams. It has glossary, see exam 1, 2, 3, and 4. It has the test preparation. This is the author, and math review, a little bit of a refresher course. And what we do primarily is glossary and the exams. If I have a request to do math review, we will get into math review, and to some sessions I will do that, since now these recordings are being posted on YouTube. Okay, all right. So what did I say? We're starting on national. This is exam number 2. And we're starting with question number 23. Okay, so when I ask you to participate in the question part and write an answer, and I give time for you all to write your answer. And that's so that I can help you in case you answer it incorrectly. Then I'll explain, and we'll go through the answers that this source provides. See, it explains the answers so that we can understand better why the answer was wrong or why the answer is right. So when you type an answer on here, please write the number, type the number, and then the letter. Okay? And look out to make sure, for me, that I write the right number and answer correctly, because I do sometimes think one thing and write another. And we're human. We all make mistakes at times, and so do I. Sometimes I get the answer wrong. Okay, number 23. One of the features of the Taxpayers Relief Act of 1997 is A, limited amnesty for unpaid taxes. B, the ability to deduct interest on personal loans. C, the exclusion by a single person for up to $250,000 of capital gains resulting from the sale of principal residence. D, the elimination of the office in the home deduction. So, Taxpayers Relief Act of 1997. Okay, I haven't dealt with this in a long... As an investor, okay, we pay capital gains when we buy and sell property. On our personal residence, a single person can exclude in property tax, income taxes, up to $250,000 gain, capital gain. As a couple, $500,000, and you don't have to pay. We don't have to pay any taxes on that. Okay, so one of the features of Taxpayers Relief Act of 1997. Okay, I have 23C and 23A. So taxpayers relief. So A and C. So C. The one-time exclusion of $125,000 at age 55 was eliminated, and a new provision added to give everyone the ability to sell a principal residence, that's your homestead, your primary home, every 2 years, and exclude up to $250,000 for a single person and $500,000 for a married couple, not just living together. Married couple filing taxes married, okay, from your tax return. Taxpayers Relief Act. So again, when in doubt, go to Google, type it in, and see what it says. Okay, very good. Elodie, 23C, and Curtis, 23C. All right. So the other one said limit amnesty for unpaid taxes. No. Taxes have to be paid. The ability to deduct interest on personal loans. That's not for the Taxpayers Relief Act. We do get to write off, okay, the interest on loans and on investment loans. The elimination of the office in the home, no. If you're working out of your home, which a lot of people are now, then we'll be able to deduct a percentage of the use of our home on property, on income taxes. 24, the practice of inducing owners to sell through fear tactics that certain minorities are moving into an area is known as A, getting listings, B, steering, B, blockbusting, D, bait and switch. While you all think that, I'm going to replace my coffee, and remember to write down the question and the letter answer. One thing about working out of home, right? We can easily get distracted. At the same time, we have the convenience of going to get a coffee, just like if we were at the office, and make more coffee, right? And you get to discuss business and activities and things like that with others at the office. Okay, so what kind of answers did we get? 24C, 24C, very good. Blockbusting. I tell individuals that it's a listing agent that wants to get more listings, so they're going to that block and busting it. They want to bust the block. Okay, illegal. Very good. Did you all have a lot of coffee already today? I've been a coffeeholic for a while. At least now I'm saving money. I'm not going to Starbucks all the time. You know, that's expensive coffee, but it's addicting. And when you get to start investing, you know, they call that the, is saving money instead of going to spend coffee. Oh, the Latte Factor. Okay, that Latte Factor can be quite expensive. If you spend $5 a day for 30 days, that's $150 a month. Times 10 months, that's that's $1,500, and 2 more months, that's $300. So that'll be $1,800 a month if you were to buy coffee for $5 every single day. $1,800 a year. All right, number 25. On your second cup? Yeah, I'm on my second cup too. Ooh, you like your Keurig? Yeah. Yeah, I love my coffee, and I'm saving money, and I love that. I mean, I could do it even during the other days, but I almost know where all the Starbucks are when I'm in a location for very long. I've been drinking Starbucks, oh my gosh, since I was in Oregon I remember traveling as an engineer. And I'd ask my boss, hey, can we drive by the Starbucks so I can get a coffee? And that was when I was at Tektronix in the Portland area in 2003 when I stopped doing engineering. All right, 25, a little bit about myself. Talking stories. Since this is going to be on YouTube, right? YouTube is about telling stories, giving information in addition to, providing information that we're doing. We want to make it interesting, right? All right, 25. No one seems to own the vacant lot next to Henry's house. So he has used it for a garden for many years now. He may have a good chance of going to court and obtaining ownership by what? A, escheat, B, condemnation, C, adverse possession, D, remainder. See, vocabulary. See why it's so important? Vocabulary, glossary, key terms. So this lot is next to his, and he's been maintaining it for years, right? Or having a garden. He's been using it for years. So how would he be able to become owner of that piece of land? So he'd be kind of stealing it, taking it over from the others. Like when pirates take over a ship. They're adversaries. They're taking over. Okay, Lodi says 25C. Who else? Okay, there's 5 of you on here. Come on. Let's get alert here and take a chance and write the answer down before I show you the answer. No other takers? Okay. Okay, one more. Curtis, 25C. Vernica, 25C. Good, good. All right, so 25. Adverse possession can sometimes result in the granting of title after occupancy of a parcel of land without permission or objection for a long period. The number of years vary from state to state. Si, senor. Si, oui, monsieur. I remember that from Tyler Perry, one of his movies with Medea. Marion, you said A. Let's see. Escheat. No. Escheat happens when there is no will. Okay? And when there's an intestate, a property is intestate, the owner dies without a will, it goes to the state and the state decides what to do. That's called escheat. People think they're being cheated out of it if the owner verbally let them know, hey, you'll get my property when I die, but they never put it on a will, then it goes to the state. And if there aren't any living heirs, then it's up to the state what to do with it. All right, yes, CCC. And yes, I speak Spanish. All right, so 25 is adverse possession. Very good. Good, Marion. Glad you got it. This is why I stress vocabulary and why I do 35 to 40 minutes of vocabulary at the beginning. Okay. 26. Hey, Curtis, I'm waiting for that breakfast, right, to get together and we do this on a live session. But I would have to have access to, I would have my laptop, right, my tablet, and do it from there. so that we could take turns in reading these questions, right? 26, a broker sponsors several salespersons of various ethnic and racial groups. Okay, sponsor, right? Before you can start practicing real estate, once you pass your exam, you're going to be in inactive status. So you'll be interviewing different brokers, including me with EXP, right? I want you to interview with me and my sponsor. So your sponsor is your broker, where you're going to hang your license, right? So a broker sponsors several salespersons of various ethnic and racial groups. When they receive inquiries about their listing, he refers the prospect to a salesperson of the same group as the prospect. The broker is what? A, in violation of fair housing laws. B, giving an extra benefit to his prospects. C, giving an extra benefit to his prospects and his associates. D, following proper guidelines for special services under fair housing laws. So remember, there are protected classes under fair housing laws. I think there are 7 protected classes. Some students remember it by fresh corn. Okay, answers. Are they in violation? Giving extra benefit to prospects or prospects and associates? Or following proper guidelines? Okay, I have an A. Elodie says A. Anyone else? More takers? Think about it. Can we steer people, okay, because of ethnicity and racial groups? Those are protected classes, right? So 26, it is illegal under fair housing laws to use any form of discrimination or channeling of a prospect to a service person a particular type of housing or neighborhood. So that's discrimination. That's violating one of the fair housing laws. Race. 26A, very good. Okay, my video blinked there for a moment. It seems like we're still on. Because occasionally, because so many people are working at home, we will get kicked off. If for some reason we ever get kicked off of Facebook, I will start a new session and you'll have to, go to a new posting within the group. Or if you're on your phone, look for a new alert so that you can access it. And it doesn't only happen to me, it happens to my coaches and my mentors also. It's a common thing right now. 26A, very good. Okay, 27. When Molly Green signed an offer. So in order to move faster through a lot of these questions, okay, if we want to cover more questions, then be alert and answer the questions quicker if you can. Think about it as if you're going to be in an exam, right? You're given 2 minutes per question, okay? Of course, we don't want to wait 2 minutes here because then we won't cover as many questions. So 27, when Molly Green signed an offer to purchase Simon's house, she put an earnest money deposit in the hands of Simon's listing broker. What should the broker do with that money? A, give it directly to the Simons. B, pass it on to the supervising broker. C, promptly deposit it in a trust or escrow account. D, immediately turn it over to the seller's lawyer. Okay, so it depends who the escrow company is going to be. In the past, escrow companies or brokerages used to have a trust account, and we would get that earnest money and they would put it in a trust account. Once it went to the title or escrow company to close it, the money would be deposited there. Today, most places where we take the contract and earnest money are a title/escrow company, or it can be an attorney. An attorney that has a real estate, is also a real estate attorney, okay, can become an escrow officer. The difference between them and taking it to a title company is that the attorney cannot do a title search or provide title insurance, so they will request it from the title company. All right, Miriam says 27C. So does Elodie. 27C, laws in every state require deposit money to be held in a trust account separate from the broker's own funds. Each state specifies the number of days allowed to deposit the funds. The contract will say also within how many days. Okay, here's the 1 to 4 residential family contract. So see on section 5, earnest money, within 3 days after the effective date, buyer must deliver as earnest money to escrow officer, could be a title company or could be an attorney, okay, and they will put it in their trust account. It requires putting their address. They can add additional earnest money at a later date. Now remember, in order to become a legal contract, it is a consideration. It does not have to be cash. It could be a promissory note. Let's say the buyer is out of state and they say, hey, I'm mailing the money. Here's my promissory note for, $1,000, $5,000. And that promissory note has 5 days. So you'll receive the money within 5 days. So that promissory note to pay, okay, is a consideration, or it could be a collateral. So it does not have to be cash in order to make it a legal contract. And they typically don't accept cash money, although I did have an attorney accept cash. And he had a little bit of an issue when he went to deposit it at his bank account and then pay the lender off at the closing. So they prefer money wired or cashier's checks. Very good, 27C. 28. Oh, long one. Okay, when you're in an exam and you're nervous about time, you can check a long question for review at a later time during your time allowed and come back to it and answer all the ones that you can quickly. Okay, and come back when you have extra time, when you have time left over after answering all the questions. Come back and review those that you didn't answer. Same thing with math problems. Click them for review if you don't know them and come back to them later. Don't stay there for more than 2 minutes. Foundation failure occurred 5 years ago on a house with a slab foundation. The owner had it repaired by a reputable foundation repair company and received a lifetime warranty to work on the work. The owner has recently listed the house for sale with a real estate broker. The owner is what? A, has no liability for disclosure because the repair has been completed and is warranted. B, should tell the broker about the foundation in case a prospect asks about the structural soundness of the house. C, must disclose the foundation failure, subsequent repair, and pass the warranty to the buyer. D, is not required to disclose repairs done more than 2 years ago and does not need to tell anyone about it. Okay, look at little key words in the answers. Is not required, okay, must disclose, should tell, has no liability. So little words like no, should, must, require can help you answer a question correctly or wrong or incorrectly. When you see must, it's typically we must do something. Okay, so must disclose, says Elodie. Major repairs done at any time, such as foundation repairs, must be disclosed under deceptive trade practices law. Lifetime warranties cover the work for the lifetime of the structure and may be transferable to a new owner. Just as when we get homeowners insurance, right? The insurance company says, hey, have you ever had any disasters or any repairs done to the home, so that we have a note of it, and because they're going to decide whether to cover it or not, or insure the property or not. Okay, so the word must here can direct you to that correct answer. And then when is it not required? You start to question, why would they say not required? Or should tell, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay, things like that. I wish I had known a lot of these things, because I used to get so darn nervous. I still get nervous with multiple choice questions, okay? Some individuals are great at doing excellent, okay, on multiple choice exam, because they know little keywords like that to help them answer a question. They won't study and they do excellent, okay? They have test-taking skills. There are courses for that. Tutoring. 30, that was 29, oops. 29, a subdivider must place in the public records a map of the property known as A, plan, B, zone, C, plot, D, plat. So a subdivider, like a builder, a developer, not, that buy land and they subdivide it, which is expensive to do, by the way. So is it a plan, a zone, a plot, or a plat? Vocabulary again, okay? All right, I have Marianne says D, which would mean a plat map. Anyone else? Okay, I'm moving on. Answers. 29D, the subdivision map, which shows lots, blocks, streets, and the like, is known as a plat map. It is filed in a plat book, which is open to the public. And I can show you what a plat map looks like. I uploaded a listing yesterday. I'm looking it up on my computer, on my Google Drive, where I save everything. So you all want to learn about Google Drive. That's where you're going to want to save all your documents, and you can access them on any computer, any phone, anytime. Okay, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is my computer table of contents. It's called the File Explorer, and then I have it on Google Drive, which I have on my computer and on the cloud, and I keep track of all of my listings. Okay, I have pre-listing and real estate listings. So yesterday I listed this one, and let's see here. So HCAD, so it's under pictures. And then I keep my photos and videos on separate file. So that way my assistant can also access these. Okay. So this is how I organize my files. So this is something that we have accessible Okay, so this I zeroed in on the particular lot so that I can show people the dimensions on the listing, because a lot of people want to know, oh, what are the measurements of the lot? Okay, so I now provide that on the listing because of how much people ask for it. And let me see. Okay, I don't have the plat map on there. Let me see if I have it on another listing. Okay, here. Okay, this is a plat map. This one it's called Paseo del Ángel subdivision. And so the surveyor, okay, the engineer, okay, surveyor creates this. And the lots, the streets, the curbs, anything that's on the ground, electrical, plumbing, you know, boundaries, power, power posts, the utility easements, it's all laid out on a plat map. Okay, this has to be approved by the planning department and, you know, and construction and stuff. And so each of these, so the plat map shows the subdivision and all the lots that go with it, okay? And this is what a subdivision looks like. And then an individual buys a particular lot, like lot number 127 on the corner here. And corner lots have greater value. Lots on the cul-de-sac have greater value because there's, you know, drive-through traffic. And so all these have to be identified. In addition to a lot number, addresses will then be assigned. Okay? So I take those and I draw around them, okay, to put them in on the listing, and so people and the realtors can have access to that information, because a lot of people will ask, okay, you know, what's the size and what dimension. So I will provide something like this and I'll draw around it. This is now provided with our MLS. We have access to the listing and tax records, and so that this will show up on the tax record in the Bexar County Appraisal District. So a lot of things that you'll learn about having access to. The more information you provide, the more questions are answered, you know, for the realtors and for the people, the public who are wanting to buy your client's property. Okay, so that was question number 29. Okay, Elodie says, question mark. Okay, so hopefully what I just showed you, it gives you an idea of what it is. It's a plat map that's drawn by the engineer surveyor of a subdivision. So that subdivider must place it in public records. Anyone has access to go view it. We can now view them online on recorded documents. In the past, we had to go to the courthouse and to the county clerks where they're recorded and look it up in books. And I believe those books are still available. So we used to have to do a lot of this in person instead of finding it online. Okay? So a plan is, you know, what are they planning to do? Okay, so they discuss the plan, you know, with the planning department or within zone. That's from the city or the county. The zoning code, the zoning type. So that's a residential zoning. The plot is like a machine, a plotter, a color plot machine that does drawings, plots with different colored inks. That's a plotter, okay? So this is a plat. The only way you could answer this is by knowing the vocabulary. So, Elodie, does that, oh my gosh, I just wrote the wrong answer. I realized that after I typed it. Good thing one of my students let me know that I can edit them. Okay. Okay, 29D. Okay, Elodie, I don't know if you understand it. Okay, 30. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 prohibits, oh, I didn't show you the answer. So the subdivision map, which shows lots, blocks, streets, and the like, oh, I did, known as a plat. It is filed in a plat book, which is open to the public. Yes, I did. 30, civil. Okay, good, Elodie. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 prohibits discrimination in real estate based on what? So that's a long time ago, okay? So think past, back in history. What would have been one of the first things, okay, that would have been protected? A, race. B, race and gender. C, handicap and country of origin. D, gender and religion. So Civil Rights Act by Malcolm, no, darn. What was the black man that got murdered? Dang, why can't I think of his name? Okay, so I have one answer, 30D. So who had the first Rights Act? Okay, so when in doubt, Civil Rights Act. See how quickly it comes up? You just start typing. Civil Rights Act, enacted April 9, 1866, but not ratified until 1870, was the first United States federal law to define citizenship and affirm that all citizens are equally protected by law. So all citizens, okay? Because it was protecting persons of African descent born in or brought to the United States. Okay, so with that said, I'm sorry, 30. The law that followed the close of the Civil War extended equal rights in real property to members of all races. Okay? Remember the discrimination of the blacks? Okay? So it protected race first, right? Freedom of rights to the blacks, freedom from slavery. Gosh, why can't I remember the black man that was murdered? Starts with an M, right? Not Malcolm. Okay, when somebody remembers, let me know. I can't remember right now. Malcolm, not Malcolm. And there's a holiday after him. Okay, well, we're getting off the subject, so let's go back on to questions. Okay, Realty, 30A. Race. Okay, very important, guys. Know your civil rights acts that are protected. So the Civil Rights Act What are civil rights examples? What are the 5 civil rights? Okay, that's not what I'm looking. So protecting of classes, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to vote. Oh And then there's the Civil Rights of 1964. Okay. And in 1964, prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. There he is. Why it doesn't say his name? Gosh, that's terrible. I can't remember his name. All right. So know those civil rights. They will ask those kinds of questions, but it's race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Okay? All right, so 30A. Okay, it's time to go into state questions. So that's how you can research it, guys. If you don't know the answer, while you're studying, have your Google opened and go and look it up. That's one of the easiest ways that I research things. Okay, so we will start with question 31 on Wednesday. All right, welcome to AGENTPrep with Lillie Hendy. Remember to tap that subscribe button and click the little bell so you get notified every time I post a new video, and go ahead and like this video.